Hello, before we start spilling the goss, I will be talking about body image, food habits, being fat. So if any of those topics or any tangential topics are potentially triggering for you, please do yourself a favor and just skip this video. So I haven't recorded, edited, and threw up a video in about a year because I got a new job. Really like my job, but I wanted to dedicate some time to get really good at what I'm doing, and I just can't sustain that with planning, shooting, and editing videos. So I just decided, let me focus on my job and going to the gym. You know, when the itch comes back, it'll come back. And as you can see, it has. I've had this idea of gates in fitness for a while, and I'll explain what it means, but it wasn't until I posted my first spicy photo on Instagram when I realized, am I unlocking these gates? And I think the answer is yes. I'll pop it up. Look, I look good. I look really good. And so let me explain what the inner gates are in Naruto. And I promise this is relevant. Listen, please listen up. I feel like this metaphor is on a different level, right? Okay, so in Naruto, there's this character named Rock Lee, and he, unlike all the other little ninja students, he can't do the ninjutsus and the genjutsus, all the magical elemental stuff. And Rock Lee can only use taijutsu, the physical stuff. So all the kicking and the punching, where he can use his chakra, which is your inner energy, to execute those moves. And so his teacher, Guy Sensei, teaches him a technique called the 8 inner gates. And essentially what it is there are 8 stages of this thing where you control your chakra. And as you unlock each gate, you get more powerful, but you use up more chakra, and therefore it's more dangerous, right? So that's the gist of it. And I relate this to going from fat to fit, because I think throughout my fitness lifting journey, there were these stages or gates where I felt I unlocked something deep within me, and it improved my lifting, or it improved my food habits. And I feel that's interesting to talk about, because we see a lot of these super fit, super gorgeous, and perfect looking fitness models and influencers, but I feel there is a lack of content coming from the people who are in the middle of that journey. And I think it's worth it to talk about kind of what those mental and physical changes are that fat people go through when they're trying to get really fit. And so when you think about the character progression of Rock Lee, what makes his story arc and journey so compelling and so captivating? It's not that he was able to master all 8 gates at the beginning, but it's his progression through trying to work to unlock those gates is what I think makes his character journey so delightful. And so we bring it back to me. I recently posted a spicy photo on Instagram, and I realized, hey, I think I am kind of a fit person now, okay? I know I still have quite a few pounds to lose, but I am feeling my body's kind of been at the best it's been. So, okay, let's take it from the top, and I promise this won't be too long, but I've always been on the chubbier side. I've always had a lot of weight, extra weight. It wasn't until my final year of college where I decided to take a weightlifting class. Prior to that, I never found an exercise or sport that I could really get into, and I was never also put into a sport, because poor family, no money. So I decided to take a weightlifting class because I knew that I had to find an exercise that I would somewhat enjoy, because, not exercising is just not good, period. So I took a class, and after that semester, I was oh my God, I really like weightlifting because there's no cardio involved. I mean, yes, some lifts, you will have an elevated heart rate, you will be breathing heavy, but I'm not running at a sustained pace, and I don't have to keep up my heart rate for longer than the 10, 15, 20 reps that I am doing a lift for. And then I moved and got a job and got busy and decided, hey, I can't really focus on getting used to my new and first job right out of college and lift at the same time, because I needed time to unwind and relax, and I just couldn't juggle everything. So I dropped lifting and decided to get on keto, because I kind of wanted a quick way to lose weight, and if I'm gonna have to make my food anyway, I might as well make it follow a certain diet plan and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Rather than having to go to the gym, I just eat what I meal prep and plan, and hopefully that also helps me lose weight. And it did. To this day, I still really do think keto does work, but it was just unsustainable for me, because I had a few instances where I would go on trips, and obviously I would cheat, because it's there's good food in front of me and I'm only here in this country for so long, so like I might as well enjoy. And so with the cheating, it came like boundary pushing where I would eat a few more carbs than I usually would, and that kind of just snowballed. And then all of a sudden I am a bit chubby again. And so I started my second long-term project at my job, and it was a travel project. So they shipped me off to the middle of nowhere, but at the client's office, they had a gym. By the time I would finish work and like get to the gym, it was empty because everyone had already left. And so I had this like huge gym all to myself. When I would be on site at my client's office, most evenings, I would go to the gym and I started picking up weightlifting again. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like I'm like making progress and I have access to this wonderful gym. And then COVID hit. And so obviously no one's traveling, everything's closed, the gym's closed. And I really did try to like use elastic bands to like do my workouts, but it's not the same. It just really is not. I couldn't really get like a good routine going because I felt limited in what I could do with elastic bands. I just started exercising less and less and using the bands less and less. I still like sustain a couple of workouts per week, so I at least got some movement in, but it wasn't enough to really balance what I would eat. So I gained all the weight back, and I think I was kind of like the largest I had ever been. And so when I moved to a building with a gym attached to it, I decided, hey, I'll pay a premium and I'm just going to go to the gym and really start lifting again. And I told myself, the 2 times when I lost all that weight, it was through food. And obviously it wasn't sustainable long term, thus why I gained all the weight back. And so this time I told myself, just go to the gym, just get a workout in, progress on all your lifts. And I didn't restrict my food intake at all. I was eating, okay, relatively healthy, but like if I ate a burger twice in 1 week, it wasn't a big deal to me. And that was about a year and a half ago, a year and 9 months ago. And now I want to get into kind of like my analysis or what triggered me to decide to start going to the gym so often. I love video games. I've grown up on video games and I will always love and enjoy and play video games, but when I was sinking a lot of time into gaming and specifically like MMOs where it's an online and perpetual game where you can like really never run out of content to play, I was realizing like I'm progressing my character in this game, but at the end of the day, that's like kind of useless because I'm not progressing myself in life. I'm not progressing like my strength and dexterity in life. So even though like I really did enjoy playing video games, there was always a voice in the back of my head going like, hey, what are you doing for yourself? What does progressing your character do for you? And I started to like really sink into that train of thought. I thought about like, am I really happy with who I am at that point? And the answer was like, no. I was really tired of being ignored on dating apps. I'm short, I'm fat, I'm Asian, I'm stupid. And so it's like, bitch, pick a struggle, right? And I decided like, I can't change the fact that I'm short, unless I go through surgery and like, no, fuck that. Like I like having decent knees. I can't change the fact that I'm Asian. I'm maxed out with my education potential. Like I'm just done with school. I can't go back. The only thing left that I could change was being fat, right? And so there we are. Gate number 1 unlocked. Realization of being fat, like I've known that all my life, but also kind of the acceptance of it and the inertia to start getting things going. And so I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym. And it's like, what's motivating me to continue to go? Like, how should I think about wanting to continue this? I kind of thought about how you get out what you put in when we're talking about lifting. That input-output relationship doesn't necessarily work for many things in life, right? You can put a lot into a career and get not much out of it because you didn't play the political game right. Like someone was out to screw you. Company laid you off because it's like a bad year. So all that effort's wasted. Same thing with doing YouTube. I can make a bunch of videos, put all this time and effort into recording, editing, planning, scripting videos, and none of them ever pop off. So when I looked at the effort to reward ratio of going to the gym, it was just a lot better than anything else I had going on in my life. Because I think about it like this, right? Even if I like don't become the best lifter or like have the most perfect body in the world, later down the line, I'll be a lot happier. I'll be a lot more confident because, like I'll have like a stronger body, like I'll be able to show things off more. I feel like that confidence helps me in every area of my life. In dating, in being social, I'm anxious. And so I feel like a lot of my anxiety and like negative feelings come from my lack of self-confidence, my lack of body confidence. At the end of the day, even if I don't achieve perfect physicality, at least I'll be able to achieve better mental outcomes because of it. And also I know how like entertainment works, right? Like People are attracted to good looking people, and the closer I can position myself to being what is conventionally attractive, the more I may have to gain from doing YouTube. I feel like that's like kind of not nice to say, but it's just true. And also thought like if I want to be in front of the camera, I should be more confident, and that comes with losing some weight. So for me, I prioritized going to the gym because I wanted those outcomes. And so next I want to talk about when I really started to enjoy going to the gym. And I've heard people say like after the first month or two of going to the gym, being consistent with it, people will start to enjoy it. And I'm here to say like, that is so bullshit. Like, bitch, it took me, I think, a year before I really started to enjoy going to the gym and like focusing more on being better. So let's bring it back to the timeline, right? I moved to a new apartment with a gym in the building, started going to the gym, and that was spring, summer of 2021. After that summer season, when I went to the gym, actually, I did go very often that summer, I started to see my delts pop out, like, ooh, I have muscles. Like I could see definition. I could see some shadows I've never seen before. Wow, things are changing. And so that was encouraging, but even as I was seeing results, like it still was not fun for me to go to the gym. Like all it was to me was, this is something I have to do. And I know I'm getting something good out of it, but it was always a chore to like put on my gym clothes and go downstairs. So 4, 5, 6 months in, I hadn't really come to enjoy going to the gym. But because I still viewed going to the gym as like a chore, I wasn't really putting effort into getting full range of motion, progressing on weights or repetitions, and I wasn't really structuring my weightlifting to be the most optimal for like someone who goes a set amount of time each week, because at that point I was still thinking there are some weeks where I will only go once or twice, and there are other weeks where I'll go 3 to 4 times. So in my head, I was always thinking I should do like a full body routine each time. That was a bad idea. Let me tell you about this like full body routine thing I had going on. I would do deadlifts, I would then squat, I would then do a bench press, I would then do rows, and then I would try and do 3 more accessories. Those 4 major lifts I would do each time I would go to the gym, plus accessories. And that would really exhaust me. So I wasn't going super often. I would go like 2 to 3 times a week while I was still progressing. Like I was still lifting a bit heavier and heavier. Every couple of weeks I would add 5-10 pounds and like see where my lifts were, and like I would still progress, but I knew I wasn't getting the most optimal progression. And I just thought to myself like things will naturally click into place, and that it did. But a year later, bitch. And so now it's the end of summer 2022, and I'm realizing, hey, while I am building good habits and, you know, making commitments to go to the gym, I'm not being super optimal. So what do? I started watching Jeff Nippard videos. We love a short king. And specifically, I started watching the Full Body Science Explained series he had going on. And I looked at the exercises I was doing and the exercises Jeff Nippard would do and like kind of structure within his workout plans, and realized like I have room to improve. Rather than doing the same thing every time and focusing on barbell exercises, I broke my routine down into 3 major lifting days plus 1 accessory day. Each workout had 1, maybe 2 really major heavy lifts, plus maybe another 1 or 2 compound, but like not as heavy or like major lifts. The rest are like accessories or smaller muscles that I would never focus on when I was doing my full body thing. By breaking my major lifts down into different workouts like that, I was able to go to the gym more often because I wasn't super exhausted after trying to do 3, 4, 5 major compound lifts in 1 session. And so I found myself going to the gym 4 times a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. That's when I realized, okay, I do like going to the gym. And so bam, gate 2 unlocked. I find it ironic that it took me taking 2 steps back to like make 4 steps forward in a sense. I was like lifting lighter, my workouts were easier, but by doing that, I was able to increase my volume for the week. And I found that I was growing some titties. I have a little pec going on. Right now, I am not confident in showing my upper body. I am definitely confident about my lower body. So I feel like that's kind of like a good milestone for what we have right now. I think that gives me like a fun goal to work towards, right? When I can finally show off my tits, be a little slut. I feel like that's my next achievement milestone. The next topic I really want to touch on pretty quickly is food. and my relationship with food and my food habits. I mentioned that I did not restrict myself. I didn't do any calorie counting. I just decided that I could only focus on tracking my lifting progress and like optimizing that and putting energy towards like getting myself to actually go to the gym. If I were to dedicate more time and energy into like tracking my macros and calories and like being super strict with my food, I think the house of cards would just start falling apart. I gave myself free reign to really eat what I wanted because in my head, I need fuel anyways. So I might as well like eat and let myself eat. That really helped me change my relationship with food because I stopped seeing food as the enemy, right? Because when I was on keto, when I was restricting myself to only spinach and chicken thighs, everything else was like bad, right? Like I can't have it. But when I started seeing food as fuel and allowing myself to like eat what I wanted, naturally I found myself wanting to eat better. So like, wow, let me kind of explain this. Because I'm seeing food as necessary and something that's supposed to help me, I started to want to optimize my choices. Oh my God, we're back to video gaming. What I find fun about video games is minimizing and maximizing character stats to get a really good character and like be super optimal. So I started to eat more vegetables. I don't think I really took away anything, more so like I added more good foods into my diet and like just naturally I can't stomach everything. So if I'm eating more good food, there's just less room for bad food. And so I found that that's really been working for me. I know that eventually if I really want to lose all the fat that I have on my body, I have to really control my calories. However, today is just not that day. And for me, I think the time will come where I will naturally want to optimize my calories, optimize my macros. But if I try to force myself to do that now, I think that's just going to be too much. And like, hey, I'm at gate 3 where I am making more conscious choices to eat healthier. For me, that's like where I feel I should be right now. And so we'll see where the future takes us, but this is where I think I'll end the video. Thank you for watching. Please come back if you eventually want to see me enter my slot era. Bye.